8 o'clock, we'll call this to order. See, we're supposed to have a guest today, so hopefully he shows. It might be a little tricky to find the meeting room up here. So we'll start with the meeting minutes. Sue typed those up, sent them out. I know you left early, Sue. So we kind of didn't necessarily get them completed, but I think that's probably okay unless someone wants to add something.
Yeah, motion to accept the minutes.
Okay,
I'll second.
all in favor?
All right.
Aye. Okay, done. So they said the next item up is Matt Morissette. I reached out to the Black Bears hockey. Can't remember the president's name. She could not come. But Matt is one of the coaches there, so hopefully he shows up and we'll talk to him when he does. I'd be interested to talk to the Black Bears. Obviously, everyone knows they combined like 4 different organizations to make one, and they're using, I think, 4 different rinks. So our usage is about what it's always been for the ice rink for the hockey, or was it?
Black Bears did cancel a couple practices on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah.
But we were able to, hopefully we'll be able to push people around to.
Okay, that sounds great.
To fill in their order.
Matt, how are you?
Good.
Do you have an idea? I don't think you were really here when it was Berry Blaze. Do you have an idea of our usage now compared to what it was when the Berry Blaze? Okay, ice rink is fairly full though, the schedule is
The
very
schedule is from 3 o'clock
on.
3:30 on, it's practically full.
Okay,
And Saturdays and Sundays are full as well.
okay,
So
Okay.
the hours of operation we set, they're full.
Yep.
If we get any more people coming in, we're gonna have to expand our hours, which is what we wanted to do when we put those hours in anyways, just to
right,
compact the schedule.
right.
How late in the night do they go?
Currently, we lock the doors at 10 o'clock.
Huh.
Lights are out and everyone's supposed to be out of the building by 10 o'clock at night.
So pretty much 3 to 10.
And we have had a couple, like 1 or 2 people show up for the noontime
Yep.
stick and puck.
Yep.
But.
Yep.
And then we had to turn some kids away on Monday because the rink was down.
What is it down for?
We had the brine pump seal gave out.
Yeah, I saw that.
Well, that's the one that's in here is a different one.
Oh, perfect.
The brine pump seal, which we knew was bad, we had the parts on order, we were hoping to limp along until we got to cold weather.
Yep.
And then we could do the pump without shutting, but unfortunately, the pump didn't agree with us.
Yeah,
The pump
And so
started
shut it down and-
Done. So we did that Monday and we tried to save the ice for the rentals.
Yep.
Because we were not able to resurface it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we did wind up having to cancel 1 practice.
Okay.
Because the ice was just getting too wet and too soft to really play.
yeah. Hardened up though, and everything's fine now.
It's hardened up and they replaced the pump yesterday. We took it out on Monday. It went to the shop. They came in yesterday, put it back in.
Yep.
I haven't heard that it didn't go well.
Yep.
So I'm making the assumption we're back up and running.
Okay, perfect. Okay, well, we'll see if, check my phone just to make sure you didn't call.
Just a quick comment about visitors and communications, maybe in the future.
Yeah.
So Berlin, for the 3rd time, voted down its proposed recreation facility. And Montpelier keeps kicking the can around. They have property, but they don't have the will from the voters to have a recreational facility other than maybe some tennis courts. And I always view that as an opportunity to consolidate some horsepower behind our will to actually fix our recreational facility and expand what we do here in Barre And maybe we can come up with some conversations with people who have been involved in a failed proposal in Berlin 3 times, and then Montpelier, well, actually twice. It seems like we can come up with maybe a game plan to regionalize some of what we do here, because obviously the voters are not going to be supporting individual recreational facilities in each village in the state of Vermont. And I think that the money situation in our state will continue to be one that's very seriously assessed. So maybe there are some fee for service activities that we can challenge these people with. Maybe there are some expanded activities that we can add. Maybe we can add tennis courts somewhere here in the city of Barre or beyond. But for sure, this,
We
I
currently
view
have
this,
4 tennis courts up at the pool.
good. I view this
Pickleball instead.
as an opportunity to develop some relationships that could actually be pretty beneficial to us. So I wanted to put that on as,
Does Berlin have like a rec department, like every town does?
I know that they had a committee working on the proposal that, again, was voted down for the 3rd time. So, you know, it seems like this is an opportunity for the city of Barre to figure out, and I can look into who was on the committee for developing the proposal, but
Yeah.
it makes sense to,
Yep, it does.
So would it be wise to invite them to
yes, it
one of our
would.
meetings?
I think it would be wise.
And just to see
What, yeah,
what they might
what,
wanna do. Wanna do.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, obviously, this is a situation where we're perched to actually improve and potentially expand. And why not build a team?
You know what their facility was gonna be, just open the floor, okay.
Well, my concern is that I know a pool was part of the Berlin thing, but
So that they, you know, by the town meeting or the town offices up on the hill, they have an outdoor like hockey rink. They
Yeah.
wanted to put a roof over that. They had like a lot of plans.
yeah,
Their recreation department is really active on Facebook. I could message their account and just invite whoever they may want to send.
and if it's possible, ask if a written, summary of the proposal could be shared.
Yeah.
Because, I see things show up in the Times Argus, but it's abbreviated information, so I don't really get a good sense of. I know it was expensive, but that's all I can,
Right.
Yeah, people don't want to spend money right now,
you know,
understandable. Okay, so that would be a great one. Yeah, Matt, so you'll look up, see if there's a Berlin rec head or someone we could have at the meeting. That'd be perfect. Good idea. Always looking for, good people to bring in here, so that's a good idea.
Montpelier, by the way, that's tricky. I talked to some of the people and, they're really fixated on tennis. So, I mean, we have to figure out, they really are fixated on tennis. So,
Yeah,
big money.
they're gonna give us big money to put in tennis courts?
No,
Okay.
those who are working on the country club proposal. So it might be interesting I'll kind of dig around and see if I can figure out a point person.
You said four tennis courts here, all outdoors.
Yes.
I don't know where you'd play indoor tennis.
Green Mountain Fitness, they have in the boards.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh,
You get short over there.
Thought I was losing weight.
Okay, so good ideas. We'll see where that can go and we'll try to push that. So next up would be the digital communications. I don't know if you have anything new or I know you've got some new stuff up there.
Yeah, Michelle's been great about just making flyers and sending them to me whenever. I haven't been super creative with what I'm putting on there. But I can just give like an update on our followers, I guess. We have 83 followers on the Facebook page and '72 followers on Instagram. I think that's like twice as much as what we reported last month. So that's cool. I've been posting a lot about sort of like the activities that are happening here. But But I think there's also some more opportunity with like collaboration with the Coyotes, because they're really active on social media. That's where I saw a lot of kind of a boost in followers and engagement is when, you know, you collaborate with other accounts.
Mhm.
But I've been traveling and doing a whole bunch this past month, so I haven't really been doing that, but I've been posting consistently, which is good. If someone goes on our page, there's no doubt that, you know, if you follow this page, you're gonna receive regular updates about what's happening up here.
Yeah, good.
I think we just need to get it out to more people,
Yeah.
so that they can follow it, so.
To be a partner with Coyotes and
But, not, if I may, to Matt's credit here, we've hosted the Norwich the University of Vermont women's basketball team for an open practice up here for 5, 6, 7 years and so on and so forth. The first 2 or 3 years we did it, we were jumping up and down, Bernie, myself, Bob McLeod, we got 25, 30 people come in. With Matt's help in putting it out on the internet, we had pretty close to 140 people this last time. And it was a grand evening for all involved. The coaches at UVM were complimentary. Again, really enjoyed coming to Barre, but what was most pleasing for Bernie and I was the fact that there were so many people sitting in the bleachers. So for a person who doesn't know much about the internet, I want to thank Matt that, hey,
Certainly made a difference.
well, big difference, huge difference. Thanks, Matt. Nice job.
Of course.
I don't want you to flip over backwards.
I didn't mean that.
I think this.
No, this is actually moving into the flip over backwards. And
I'm okay.
chair,
I'm okay. That is enough.
I mean, we have to hand out helmets or
yes,
something?
yes.
No.
That's
a
we have chair for it, yeah.
I had that last week. Last month.
We're good.
Here, take that one. Yeah. Here.
Just lean it in the corner of the room, so you got it.
Slide in.
There.
And we can find out if you've been losing weight. After,
So I know with, you know, I tried to log on to those accounts and I can look at it for about a minute and then it's kicked off because I don't have either of them, so I can't log on, so I'm not your target audience, I know, but that is for someone who's not on it, we can't really access it. But I was trying to see, I know that Sue sent you some sort of historical stuff, is that?
Yeah, I've been posting those every Thursday.
Yeah. Good.
So that's been cool, yeah, giving some context there.
Yep.
Yeah, if you want pictures to post, stop downstairs. I got a bunch of pictures and we got a ton of them over now.
I've seen them in the desk in the office in the BLR, those are really cool. I'd like this, so at some point, scan those in, you know, some of the cool ones, so.
Yep, right.
Yeah, I think that's pretty neat. After, it's just kind of showing the history of this place. If someone wants to check into that, it's pretty varied. So I think that's great. Any questions on the digital stuff or anything else to discuss? Okay, nice to know that. So moving along, auditorium upgrade, project. I know there's a lot happening with that, but why don't you go some a little bit, Tom?
As you know, we're still in a holding pattern with the government shutdown. So we were trying to cover as many bases as possible. So we put out an RFP for construction documents. Then we amended it to an RFP for a design build scenario. We've got those back. We're gonna review those proposals after this meeting. And what I'm hearing, hopefully today, you know, gets back going.
Yeah.
If everyone gets their act together.
If not today, tomorrow. That was the last thing they just said, not today, tomorrow.
Okay.
So tomorrow might be the next day.
I will fly on there, that's all.
Yeah.
I'm fine, Zach.
So
Yeah,
we're
we're-
doing everything we can to be ready to go whichever direction they decide to go in, that we have to go in. Because we can't get the anyone to answer our question.
Good, now can you tell me, when you say they, could you be
USDA.
specific? Okay, good.
Cause they have the money, right?
They've got the money, USDA has the money, it's sitting in the bank there.
Right,
The feds haven't pulled it back yet, as far as I know. So it's sitting there. But there's nobody at the desk to answer our questions to get us.
Right.
To be able to proceed.
Right, but the money's there, so you feel strong enough that, you know, you can move forward with
We're
scopes of work
gonna
and
get to
budgets.
wherever. We're
Right on the road.
preparing both directions. Whichever way we go.
Yeah. And then a tight schedule for everything.
It's
You're trying to get everything done.
That's
by-
the actual design build option came up with from one of the contractors that came in to look at the original RFP. And that one actually shortens up your time frame because the builder is involved right from the beginning, the project.
And they're trying to be,
Much back and forth on the front side.
right, and looking to wrap this up in like April or something like that, or
The
the project.
our schedule that we put together was originally like April 1st. The odds shut down and we're starting to
April start.
tear down, and then we're hoping, the schedule said November 1st. That gives us a little bit of leeway, a couple weeks before the craft fair.
and just for clarity, the city doesn't have to do a typical bid for the project. You said that the builder
The
came in.
design,
with a
that if we do
build.
a design build,
Uh-huh,
it's the architects and the general contractor get together and give us a proposal.
mhm,
As a total project.
mhm.
The typical one, the other option is the normal, you get your construction documents and then you send that out to bid. That adds
Yeah,
a couple more weeks
I
to
know,
the
and
process.
that's acceptable to the city and also to the
We're
USDA.
waiting to find out with the USDA. They need to tell us that's why we're doing both.
Mhm.
That was the question we had before they shut down. Yeah.
I'm surprised that they will accept that I mean, Jeff, you had experiences with that. I mean, for them to accept this one price, I wouldn't believe that would.
Well, we put out an RFP and we only got one bid on it.
If you only get one bid, that's, USDA is not that picky with that.
Yeah. All right, so you're saying you sent it out to an architect and the architect will use whoever they use, is that what you're telling me? And you had one out of that?
Yeah, we sent it out, we put it out there, we had one architectural firm come back to us for construction documents.
Right. Which is the same firm that built this originally.
Right,
But you don't think they'll send that out to multiple contractors and get a price like that, or?
it depends, if we do go with that, we can send it out to whoever we want to, or they're just doing the documents.
But you guys, they're not, okay, so you're saying that, all right, they're not picking a contractor right off.
And if we go that way, then we get the documents, then we send the documents out for bid.
And there'll be,
Design build is, you're kind of picking the contractor to do the design as well as the build.
but you're looking at multiple contractors, just one.
We got
architect.
three bids on that design build.
Okay, so moving forward, but a little bit of a holding pattern until we hit the USDA.
Yeah,
And,
just a matter, it will be, which way do we go?
right,
And we'll be ready to go.
right.
Okay, and how will you be keeping the committee members informed about the decisions that are made over the next few weeks?
Well, we have, we're hoping to send it to council next week. And then I can send you the email if you want, or we can wait till the next meeting.
Yeah, I would like to get that, thank you.
Yeah, big project. Was excited for it, so. Okay, any we're flying through. Any other issues on the auditorium upgrade? Okay. I think things will start happening fast with that.
You wanna talk about scoreboards, that kind of stuff right now, or is that?
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
well, and the folks that were going to come in and fix the scoreboards came in and thought we had one that was gonna be, what we had was gonna be compatible, and as it turned out, it wasn't. Help me out through this if
Of course it wasn't.
yeah, of course it wasn't, right? Yeah. So, but all in all, after, Pat was here to got up on a ladder and fix the controllers that we needed up in the scoreboards up there, which has been done. He said our scoreboards were in really great shape compared to others that he had seen, especially that are as old, 27 years.
I think that's what he said. He also
Sound
said
about right?
About right.
they were, when he opened the panels up, he says they were super clean inside of, not a lot of dust that creates extra heat,
Yeah.
cooks up your electronics. So that looked good. They replaced the drivers. And the new controller worked.
Yeah.
Bernie finagled us a second controller.
Used,
rebuilt
but completely redone, so that if we go down, we got a backup, okay?
And there was some question about getting the money from Patty, was that?
Yeah,
Lynn,
Lindy?
then, yeah,
That's been turned in.
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
We were as I showed you, came over $425, $450, we went over what we called that $3,000
But
number.
some of that number was them working over at the
Yeah, the BOR,
BOR when they were here.
that's right.
We had a little bit of communication issue there. They fixed that. So
so
I passed along that check to Nicholas.
Okay.
So do you have them check this board down here too, whether they're here, or you didn't have that?
these,
No,
oh, that one
sign.
down there, not that particular time. It seems to, we got, Chris Kirby IT access, and he went in there and he contacted the Daktronics and they cleaned it up. They cleared out a bunch of old stuff in there and cleared up. And, you know, we've been having good luck with it.
So things weren't getting cleaned out, they were sitting there and just
One
plugging
thing
in.
that, you know, the memory cache was getting full, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah.
So they wiped that out and it sped up the process.
Yeah.
Quite a bit, just like you do with your regular computer.
Right.
And Michelle has taken over the sign. She's got into it, she's programmed stuff with start dates and stop dates, and the information is getting rotated through much quicker.
Yep, good.
Where I was updating it once a week.
Yeah.
She programming it in, as soon as she gets an event schedule, she sets up the event and it comes up automatically and it takes it down automatically and
yeah, that's a big part.
it's doing it all, on its own.
Yeah.
Nothing like seeing a sign that you missed something last week.
Where
When
are you
it's
gonna move
the-
that, where are you gonna move that sign to if they build that building down there?
I don't know.
Yeah, well,
That's why
across that
that might
road.
be an issue.
Yeah.
Because it's actually on private property now.
Right,
I mean, we got like a right of way to put it there when it got installed.
in writing, we got a right away?
I believe there is one, yeah, because we had to get permission from the state
Yeah,
to how long the message could read.
yeah, I know,
You must have that, I mean,
yeah, oh,
you're a little older than me.
yeah, just a little.
But yeah, that was a big deal, because remember they had an
Yeah.
incident with the guy up in Morrisville that put one in state right away, and he was selling time for birthdays and all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some strict guidelines for where that is. So we'll have to we may have to look at another place, because the design that I saw for the apartment complex was the apartments are gonna go where the sign is now.
Right up on the street.
Because they're gonna have store frontage on Main Street for the businesses underneath.
Yeah.
And the parking is gonna be where
Right.
Soups and Greens
Like
is now.
building is,
Oh, maybe
They're
Tom
flipping
let
it.
us use some of the dominoes or.
That's probably what's gonna happen. It'll probably be over on that side of the street.
Yeah.
So there's never been good signage down on Maple, correct?
Correct.
Okay, the reason.
I don't know, I think it's because most people that come off, if you go online, it'll give you directions. It tells you to turn right
On Main Street
and
and then left.
And then left.
But I wonder if traffic should be rerouted and that you just go straight to the light and turn
Then take
right.
it right on Summer. Yeah.
And then I think that the city has more right of way down at that corner.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
Are you talking about putting the sign down there
where
or?
Mr. Z's is now.
Some signage, possibly that sign, but I actually think it's kind of odd that for somebody coming from a distance, they have to perch themselves at a major light
Mhm.
and then, you know, kind of do a little zigzag. I don't think that that's quite as direct
Probably the intent was to keep the heavy traffic off.
off of Summer Street.
Yeah,
Do you remember?
no,
I know you probably don't, because I was, just got out of Johnson. And one day when I was working, Floyd Chandler, remember that name?
Sure.
Chief of Police.
Police, sure.
I changed,
doing personal,
I changed signs because for about 3 days, there was one-way traffic going down Main Street. And the other, they turned Summer Street into one-way traffic. And do you remember that years?
they did it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I changed the sign
last.
literally half a dozen times in one day. No parking or slow down or whatever, and they finally went back to what it is now.
Like Art said, that was a test.
Yeah,
I think though, you need a sign at the light
Mhm.
that directs you to go to the right. I think coming from Main Street, you gotta stop at the
Mhm.
bottom of the hill and you can see what's going on a bad weather day or whatever. I know you're crossing traffic or whatever, but taking a left onto the auditorium hill,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe bad weather.
Or if there was a sign, you know, like your business sign or whatever, you know, on the highway that says, you know,
This way.
auditorium, go to
Yeah.
the right, and
Yeah.
then you get the granite sign there now, which maybe,
Right.
Yep, yep. Let's do that.
An opportunity to
Right
re-sign.
now, we'll still get their directions
Yes,
right here.
good point.
The cars say, turn right
yes.
Yeah.
in 100 feet.
Yeah, well, so as far as the message on the sign, though, I do find myself sometimes like trying to look at it and then I'm like, wait, I'm not looking at the road, you know? Is that an intersection, you're stopped,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
then you may see two messages on there. Rather than
As you
just
drive
like,
by, you see one.
yeah, right.
Yeah, that's a good point. As far as circling back on the controllers and all that, have we sent something official to Lindy about that? A thank you or something to her? I mean, we should probably recognize that, I would think somehow.
I will see her personally.
Yeah.
I certainly can write something up and send it to her or give it to her when I see her.
Is there any precedent for what we do when someone gives us a gift or?
usually do send a letter of thanks, yeah.
Yeah.
At least the city would.
we can also pass around a thank you card at the next
Good
meeting.
idea.
That'd be a good idea.
Basically, people like something personal.
Yeah, any volunteers should bring a thank you card? Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you. I'll write you a thank you.
I was very generous and we appreciate it greatly, so,
Yeah.
very nice. Okay,
And by the way, the last thing about those control, the new unit that's on the table right now has got a much larger screen on it that you can read and operate. It's just,
it's operated.
very nice.
Yep,
Did you talk to the high school about the old ones?
Yeah, I talked to Jay and he told me that it still wasn't compatible, what they had and what they tried to work with for basketball games.
Okay.
He said there was something about one that was up to the elementary school. That might work out. So, but Jay was checking into that.
it's a nice upgrade because we're also, it seems like there's a lot more activity in gym. It's nice to see you guys. A lot more tournaments, we've had other, so it's good. Want to improve it. Which actually ties into our next one, which is projects that we should potentially be doing using the civic center fund money, kind of improvements. We have the auditorium upgrade, which is through the grants, which is a big ticket item. But the Civic Center Fund is more to improve, this facility with smaller things that are not sort of maintenance, but, any improvements. So the score, that was through a donation, but those kinds of projects. Does anyone have any kind of wish list or things that they think we should be focusing on? Potentially from the Civic Center Fund?
I don't know if it would be a wise thing maybe to take it out of the Civic Center Fund, if somebody else would pay for it, maybe with what goes on with the state of Vermont up here and with all of the driving and parking, but if this, you could see the old lines on the parking lot, but you could put a lot more cars in here the right way, especially for big events if it was lined. Again, and maybe with the state doing what they're doing, maybe they could help out in that, because they have certain lanes that they have to use, right?
I was talking with DPW about getting their line striper, stripe their own parking lot.
Yep.
That difficult.
Yep.
We took their old one and we tried to work on that, so we would have one. We gotta get a new motor for that. So that's possible springtime work, and then we can paint, we get that paint machine, we can paint this. We can paint the soccer fields and the athletic fields. But better than just that spray can machine, it'll look nice, and but it is an old machine.
Okay, as long as it works, maintain.
Bernie, are you talking about redesigning it too, not just?
Well,
Relay it or just restripe it.
I think it's laid out pretty well. I mean, when it was repainted back,
For probably 40 years now.
but you know what it's like when you get basketball time or these new tournaments, that the wrestling thing that we had, it was like, and by the way, Saturday night Thunder Road was up here. And I talked to quite a few of the drivers over the weekend. They had a great time and it was a great venue, and it's better. They've been going to the Elks and like that, and
Yeah,
came off
I heard.
really, really nice, and they were very happy and plan on coming back.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had a banquet or?
Yeah, their season ending awards thing, and that was also, I know, the governor had
Yeah.
a little bit to do with that too, so, yeah.
So, one of the things that has been on the wish list for a long, long time is changing the curbing in front of the odd building. Right now, there's a very tall curb that basically is a tripping hazard for people who are believers in shortcuts. Most people who want to go to the front of the auditorium, whether it's to vote or to join in a game or an activity, they're gonna basically leave their car and then they're going to cut across to the front. I realize that everything has been striped to go along with the idea that the connector building with the elevator is actually the access, but I've seen so many people trip on that curb. I really feel like that should be cut down and that it should be restriped as another access point so that people don't hurt themselves when they're getting into the auditorium. So
So you're saying put another curb cut?
I'm saying
in there?
I'm saying paint a crossing. I'm saying get rid of the curb that goes up this high. So that basically people who are scuffling along, trying to get to the front of the building, don't trip and hurt themselves. That's what I'm saying. And right now, it's basically a pretty high curb. That should just be cut away. And that,
There's at least two crossings.
I know, but people, yes, there are two. So both have to be cut. But this is a very inexpensive, it's just cutting and removing the curb and then repainting. So that people don't, it really is a hazard right now. If you go down and watch people at any activity, whether it's, a basketball game or a voting opportunity, you're just gonna see a handful of people looking up at the door, up on the top of the stairs and not watching where they're walking and then stumbling on the curb.
Your suggestion is to remove all of that curb,
Well,
because we currently have two openings now. Do you suggest
not-
bigger openings?
I'm not suggesting that, but for sure, the opening that's the closure that's right across from the main doors of the odd should be opened up. And we can go down and actually look at it. I'd be glad to walk through. I'm not sure what the curb does for the city. So maybe the curb has no specific purpose, but for sure, that spot directly across from those front doors is a hazard to the public, and that should be changed.
So I would suggest just cutting, you know,
Yes.
3 or 4 foot wide.
Yes.
Cut in the granite curbing, paint a crosswalk
Exactly.
directly across from the middle stairs.
Yes, and that's what I was saying, but I probably just wasn't as clear as I could have been, and I do apologize. Sometimes it's easier to actually see the situation right there, but do watch people. It's just one of the most horrific safety issues that we have up here.
You do that, and then you just put some of those crosswalk signs and.
Okay.
Then you
So
can,
people
Where
walk
they
where they
can.
wanna walk and they make their trails and it's, you know, a lot of campuses do that now. They just put their paths wherever the kids are walking. and it's
Exactly.
some
They
Random
do that a lot.
pattern, you know, there's nothing geographic about it.
Right.
It's where people walk.
Right, and this is definitely not random. It's the shortest, just
Right.
get to the front door.
Okay, that's a good one. Anything else on potential projects that we should be doing with the Civic Center Fund? Art?
I just wanna, I'm unfortunately, I missed the last couple of meetings, but I saw somewhere that you recommended saving $100,000.
I recommend saving, just holding that fund as a contingency.
The whole 200,000 or roughly whatever it is, somewhere around there.
A portion of it.
Yeah. If you get into
Portion of it.
construction, that's not gonna take long
So,
to chew it up.
I
And
mean,
it's the idea, my thinking is if we have that extra money, there's a piece that we can't fund completely to what we were looking for.
Mhm.
We've got a little bit of money to get it to what we're looking for.
so my recollection is that we already, back a year ago, whatever it was, we set $100,000 towards.
We did.
We pledged 100,000 as part of the match. The
Yeah.
match never happened.
The
They
match-
did away with the match,
Right.
so that money is still there.
The money's still there and we don't have a motion that says we're gonna spend 100,000.
No, I would say no, because we were pledging for the match.
Yeah.
So there's nothing in there right now. So I think what Tom, you know, was talking about is, you know, if there's something, 100,000 is not gonna do a lot of construction.
Oh, no.
But if there's some small discipline that needs to be
I don't
done.
disagree with his thought process, you know, if all of a sudden you got a few bucks here or there, and if you had a few more bucks, you can finish a certain.
Right,
area.
if, you know, if we wanna, just, if we get to the locker rooms
Yes,
and, you know, we're running a little short on money to put some nice, you know, cubby lockers in. Upgrade, that's something we could possibly fund out of that.
I
And
mean,
then we could get in, maybe we look at, you know, chairs.
Yeah.
You upgrade our chairs or our tables or getting some pipe and drape for dividing and dressing up.
so I guess what he's saying is don't spend too much with it.
There's, as far as I know, you know, we have a significant balance in there. There's no project had for it. We ran into a couple months ago of the lights and stuff like that, you know, it doesn't seem to be being used for that kind of fund right now. So the money is just sitting there right now.
Right,
But it's more than the 100,000 that he's talking about right now. So I think if there is projects that would be valuable that, you know, we've had on our list for a while, or someone thinks that there's good addition to do to this facility, I think we still have money there. While keeping some of it in reserve for the finishing touches of the construction project.
I'd like us to be ready to have volleyball in the odds, so whatever expenses are associated with setting up, you know, the net holes and things of that nature, I think we should try to figure out what that costs and get ready for it for at least next year.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, I don't know the cost of that, but I can't imagine that's a significant
It's not gonna be,
monetary
right.
demands, and that would be perfect for that fund, and it wouldn't
Exactly.
really drain it much at all. But I think that might give us an opportunity to have some people in here. Volleyball is popular. So,
So I guess I'm just sitting here thinking, he's saying save the money, and we're saying, well, a few things here or there.
no, I think it's a matter
I mean,
of scale. I mean,
yeah.
it's, I can't remember what the budget was, but let's say
It was
two
over
hundred,
200,
you know, it's 200 and we're thinking of saving 100 grand and things. Volleyball, I don't know what that'd be, 5 grand. So, you know, we can do some smaller projects and then take it out of that potential fund.
Just seemed to him, it sounded like you want to save the whole 200 or all as much of you can of that.
You always want as much money as you can get, just in case.
Yeah, I understand that philosophy. But if there's some smaller projects that I think would, you know, that we think would really improve and open some avenues, I don't think those are shut off. I don't think there's like a necessary, myself, I don't think there's a freeze on the account.
Yeah.
We wouldn't want to go spend all of it and not have any of it. But that would be a huge portion. I mean, that, you know, there's nothing on the books right now that would take that kind of cash, except for the project.
So Art, do you want to make a motion to reserve a particular quantity of funding for this, extra work?
Well, I mean, I guess I'm kind of asking the question to the group here of how we want to handle this. I don't have any problem making a motion.
Uh-huh.
But putting a number on it, I mean, I almost, like you say, you don't have anything right now that you spend it on, and you suggested, volleyballs, nets and stands and all, I don't know, I'm all for that. Type of thing, but I guess by next meeting, will we have a better idea of what the costs or what's it? Really hope so. So, I guess I'm not, I don't, go ahead.
I believe the standard is like 10% contingencies.
Yeah.
So we're talking $3.5 million. 10% $350,000.
Right. But the contingency is usually in the bid, I guess.
Right.
Right.
Right, you have that in the bid,
Yeah.
but that also takes away from
Other
what
things.
you can plan in the bid, because.
And I guess what I'm saying is, I would just soon wait till the next meeting and you got a better idea, hopefully, of where the money's going, what it's gonna cost and that sort of thing, and before putting a number on any portion of the 200,000 or whatever. Meanwhile, the volleyball nets and that sort of thing, I guess is a next year project, is what you were indicating. So we'll, hopefully we'll have money left to do it. And with, Jim working so hard as he does, you'll have more money coming in theoretically, type of thing, but
That could be one of these little projects we roll in to the big project.
Yeah.
They'll be in there working. We can put the
holes in the floor.
stands in.
Yeah.
While they're there.
Yeah.
We don't have to stop and wait for that, someone else, but this is something that's precisely what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Little
Yeah.
add-ons that we see that are not covered by the grants.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm wondering if we should also think in terms of the volleyball, I mean, it would be nice to have inside, but what about outside? I mean, I know the volleyball area at Berry Town is used a lot.
Didn't they talked
I don't
about
know.
where they had one at the pool.
We did
One time.
years ago.
Yeah.
Probably about 15 years ago.
Yeah,
You know, I don't know, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
that
if
was,
there's
I'm sorry. I mean,
Area.
Yeah, that would be a place to put it, because outside here, basically, I think you need every parking space you got. What is possible. And
you know, what would the target audience be if we had it? I think it would be kind of schools or some sort of winter league, you know, that kind of target audience.
If you're
not
talking about the high school volleyball program, that's
Yeah.
always, that's inside, that's in gyms.
yeah, generally, yeah.
I was thinking of business competitions.
Right, but, you know, leagues or high schools or, you know, you were having a basketball tournament, college, high school basketball tournaments, well, high school, college. Volleyball tournaments, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
which is more of a gym setting
Yeah.
versus the total recreation.
And I'll tell you, in Vermont, high school volleyball has grown quite a bit.
Yeah,
They draw a lot of people at their tournaments.
Yes.
Can you imagine if we could get that to
Well,
come here to the,
I was thinking that, you know, basketball and
That's right.
wrestling now, we could.
volleyball could be a
too.
nice add-on.
Yeah.
And I'm not, you know, I don't really know what I'm talking about when it comes to volleyball, but I think the amount of work we'd do is we'd have to put a couple post holders on the floor that could close up and you could run over.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, I can't imagine it more than $5,000.
Yeah, you just have to
Something like that.
support them below the floor.
Right, so there might be some structural work.
Yeah, there'll be some structural work,
But still
down below
a
the floor
pretty
to hold those.
Lines.
Right.
Poles.
Court lines.
lines that could be different.
Yeah, but every high school, well, more than half the high schools in Vermont already have that done, going on.
Yep.
So it's obviously not a
Right.
project there. Be too immense for the Barre Auditorium.
Does Spalding have volleyball nets in there?
Not that I know.
They do, but they're on rollers. They're not.
Oh,
Nothing stationary.
Okay, and they just have, is it, am I correct, is it just girls volleyball or is it boys?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Okay, I mean,
I remember when I was at VTC, long time, ago, there was boys volleyball,
yeah,
collegiate boys volleyball.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think there should be.
I don't know if there's, I think there might be,
I think Art's thinking beach volleyball, I don't know.
No,
I think there is boys volleyball,
that's fall.
no,
Oh,
but
No,
in the state,
in the state, yes.
I think it's incredibly small.
Yeah, it's mostly Chittenden County.
Yeah, you get
For
your
the big
D1
schools.
schools that are trying to add some activities.
Well, and I think, you know, it's growing, like you said,
Right.
and so it's only a matter of time, hopefully, before Spalding has something like that. And to have the auditorium, have the chance to have a state volleyball tournament would be perfect. But-
Yeah.
Great.
And I like your idea, trying to take a look at it when they're doing whatever they're doing in the auditorium to cut holes in the floor and put whatever structural things they need in the basement. A lot of high schools, or most of them, they don't have basements under their courts. You know, it's just,
We put them in over at Norwich when I was over there,
yeah,
and that's a
it's on the old.
concrete, no, in,
Oh, it's a new- Yeah,
that's a concrete slab.
yeah,
I'm
right.
gonna try to
And we had
find
to
the copy.
core through that, and they had to put some structural stuff underneath it.
I never dropped in the
Well,
ball on that.
the poles are
Yeah.
8 feet tall,
Mhm.
so you need to have enough support
Yeah.
for when people start beating on
Yeah.
the nets.
I don't think these two things are mutually, you know, exclusive in terms of doing something like that with the funds.
Yeah.
And then still having some reserves, cause construction always costs more. It would be good to have some reserve in there to, as you said, finish some locker rooms or something like that. So, you know, again, no big plans to use anything for the Civic Center fund. But I think it's good that we talk about it and come up with some plans and at least get things on the table. So does anyone else have anything regarding that in terms of projects that might be, Matt?
Yeah, I just got something on it kind of before we move on. You know, the auditorium is receiving a lot of investment right now with these renovations and everything else, and for good reason. I think, you know, what's not included in that project, in this grant money, is the BOR. I think it would be worthwhile to use some of this improvement funds for that,
Can't,
you know,
like,
the civic center.
the Civic Center funds, yes, that's potential.
Just recognizing that this building's are, you know, the auditorium's gonna get a lot of upgrades. The BOR is like left out of that. You know, my experience is mostly using the BOR. I've used the auditorium a couple times. I attend events there. But this community relies a lot on the BOR. And I think, like the entrance to the BOR, just to begin with, you know, the locking, securing the facility, you know, and down in the auditorium, we have these nice welcome mats. I think like a similar kind of investment, welcoming people into the BOR. That could be something to consider. You know, I know I've talked about this in the past, but I've like gone to rinks throughout the state. Their entrances are much more secure with double doors and, you know, kind of a buzzer to get in. That can be operated remotely, you know, the way we are doing this now, like we have keys that we have to hand out. Obviously, keys get lost or misplaced or whatever else.
Yeah, that's been a struggle for a while.
So, yeah, and you know, and also there's several doors getting into the VOR, you know, like what are the condition of all of those? And especially the state
Side
using
doors?
this, yes,
Okay, so the entrance is of one door and then there are additional side doors, so
entrance is two double
Two
doors.
double doors.
two double doors.
And then there's a least two more double doors on the sides.
There's two emergency exits on the sides. They have no outside handles.
Uh-huh,
And
Those, yeah, they're exit only.
so they're
Exit
just
only.
basically
Right.
open
Right.
to the outer,
Emergency
okay.
doors.
the set of doors on the north side, behind the benches underneath the scores, they are beat to death
Hmm.
from people going out
Chicken.
those doors with their hockey bags, and they tend to open the door with their feet.
Yeah.
You
And
get hold of Scott Wilson at Arcade Miles. I had him in 3 or 4 years ago. Maybe only 3. And he priced out changing all the doors, because none of those doors are fire rated, nothing. They're not ADA compliant, they're not fire coded, so he may still have that. I don't know, but he did come up and went through the whole place and threw a number at us.
That's a big ticket.
Yes, it was. That's why we shouldn't do it.
Yes, yeah, yeah. We need a grant for the BOR. We're not gonna take care of all that.
Well, if you look ahead to the BOR too, you're looking at a building, a slab that was poured in 1972, 73. You know, that's
We
moving
got flood
underneath,
issues,
doesn't
we got
last
roof
forever.
issues. You know, there's several million
You got a
dollars that should be
roof
put into that
project
building.
that's over $1 million.
Right.
That's just the main roof.
Right.
This is only one single pebble of sand on the beach, but yeah, I think your point's well taken. As you probably know, all the chairs that we got in the auditorium within the last year were 60 of them were donated by Northfield Savings Bank. And the mats that are in the auditorium say, "Welcome to the Odd," were donated by Vermont Mutual. The group of persons that put that together, we're actually going to meet here a little bit later this morning. We could possibly move ahead. What do you think, so, Vern? We're getting some welcome
We
to
certainly
the
can
BOR
talk about
mats
it,
in
yeah.
there. We'll find another sponsor somewhere.
Yeah.
I think that would look really nice. You know, the best mat on there so far was, I don't know if they're using it now, but it was like an old piece, like it's one of the extra pieces of turf that we had. Like that's what we used to wipe off our feet as we walked in.
We'll get new mats.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Didn't somebody throw out a thing about putting a sign on the BOR? Saying the
No,
BOR?
I- about
we
that
talked
before.
about that, what, year?
Yeah.
Something on the entrance, like a lot of rings have like a hockey player and a figure skater and whatever, welcome to BOR, that type of thing up front.
Yeah, you could do both, I lacrosse and a hockey player or something.
Yeah, lacrosse is big now in rinks. So it's good. Okay, so that's BOR should be another discussion. We've been focusing on the auto line, but there's some GLC that needs to be done with BOR. And then first impressions, you know, when you walk into a building, they're huge, you know, so mats would, you know, you walk in and you get that first impression, which is why we've talked about the building here, you know, we gotta do that roof. Hopefully next spring or summer cause that's the first impression. That's
The
pretty-
awning.
Yeah, that's the first impression. That's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Okay, we're about wrapped up, but any other ideas? Okay, move forward. Next one is, marketing report for Jim.
Thank you. In the last couple of months, as I wasn't here last month, I've been working with the various sponsors over in the BOR relative to several of the dashboards that are scattered, completely around the rink itself. And there was a large number of dashers that were cracked, pieces were missing, and obviously it was a safety hazard. And there was also one ice screen that Vermont Mutual furnishes. So I made contact with the various sponsors of those dashers and that one ice screen. I'm a little embarrassed to say there were some 18 dashers that had to be replaced through the last 3 or 4 years, and that's all on me. But the good news is when I contacted all of the sponsors, everyone said yes. So I think that's something that speaks loudly about the sponsors over in the BOR. They're happy with the way things are going there. Hence, there are 16 new dashes up on the boards today and 1 new ice screen. The only dashers that are not up, and I've seen this so much because I do business with a community bank down here. when the signs were made, we should have had, they should have said Community National Bank, which is across the street. But they made them that said Community Bank, bright orange, and so we took those down last week and we're in the process of changing those out. That responsibility fell on the designer of the sign. It's not going to be an expense for us, so that'll all be done here in the not too distant future. I'd ask you to take a few moments after this meeting or sometime. I've been here now for 8 years, I think. And through the efforts of the custodial staff and Jeff in the past, and now with Tom here presently, I think the two buildings look as good as they ever have. You walk in the auditorium, it looks nice. There's a brand new American flag that hanging there. My God, it's, you know, it could be a sail on a sailboat versus a little one that was in every classroom in America. And even the decals that the Coyotes put down, you know, it's got some pop, looks really sharp. But go over to the BUR, the custodial staff over there, washed all the dashers, cleaned them all off from the scars of the hockey season of yesteryear, but they also cleaned off all the glass above those dashers. New lighting, BUR looks pretty nice, looks very nice, and it's good to walk into and see what people have done here to make that better. Not better so much, but a step up. On the 22nd of this month, which is the Saturday before Thanksgiving, we are for the third or fourth year or so, we'll be hosting once again the men and women's hoops team from Norwich University and Vermont State University over at Johnson. Both of those schools, the ADs and so forth, are looking forward to that. And it's just another piece to the puzzle where when it's on the marquee signs downtown and people are going back and forth, I think it makes a difference with, wow, look at the things that are happening up at the auditorium. And it clearly shows with the number of sponsors that keep coming back. I've only lost one, and I don't know if it's lost yet, but just this last year, I've only lost one sponsor who's not going to continue, but I'm still pushing to hope that that might happen. You recall 3 or 4 meetings ago, and I brought them in after you approved them. We had some, that's awful, 14 or 15 of those glass, I call them glass plaques that we gave to the sponsors for 10+ years and so on and so forth. I delivered all but 2. In my office today, I still have Casella. And my plan is, I don't know where they are. I was gonna drop it off at their depot down in East Montpelier. But I'm gonna, sometime in the not too distant future, I'm gonna drive down to Rutland, go to their corporate offices there on the mountain. I just think it might give it a little more pop.
I'll give you a name and phone number. Who's in charge?
I got that.
Did you get?
I do have that,
Did you get
yeah.
Mike Casella?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other one is BYSA. And we're holding off on that because the very first day of December, the first Monday of every month, BYSA has their committee meeting and membership meeting up at the Canadian Club. And I'm going to go to that meeting on December 1st and make the presentation to that group. So we'll be done with that. Those have been very much appreciated and been well received. I'm sort of laying the groundwork here. If you come to events up at the auditorium the last 2 or 3 years, there's one mainstay that happens every single time. And in this case, with Norwich coming in, it will happen twice. Paul Plant, you know, I hope most of you know who Paul is. Paul will get out on the floor and without any accompaniment, he will sing the national anthem before each game. He does it at events all the time. He doesn't receive any, he receives plenty of thank yous. I would like your permission, or at least to think about, I'd like to get one of those glass plaques and present it to Paul Plant. Not when Norwich is here, because the crowds won't be that large, but when we do the winter solstice on January 2nd and 3rd. And Spalding and Montpelier and U-32 and Hazen and Peoples, I mean, we'll have a packed house. And I think, if we were to make a presentation, just that, you know, thanks for all you do, and you really put some extra, significance on this building, you do a wonderful job volunteering, singing the national anthem. It's an investment, a couple of pennies under $70. And my God, it'll be worth much more than that to him and to us, because he's a
Good idea.
hero. So,
I think we're all for that.
yeah, all for that, for a plaque, for, okay, thank you very much. That's it. Things are going well.
Okay, excellent. I'm glad to hear, you positive about the buildings and the facilities, and I appreciate that. And Tom, thanks for all your help in getting people motivated to do that. So,
I
that's
just
great.
have a quick question, if I could. When people come to do a walkthrough to think about, would my group fit into this facility? Let's say for an event at the Odd or an event here at Alumni Hall, do they ever say something specific to you or to others about, gee, this would be great, but this is missing? Is there some way that we can kind of collect that information so that we understand how to react strategically to some of the good comments that might be coming in? I kind of feel like there's a disconnect. I never hear much about why people choose not to use the facility. You know, like the Odd for major expos. Is it because the parking is horrible, or is it because, the price is too high? What are the reasons? Because it's a great facility and I'd love to see it used more. So is there a way to get more feedback from visits? Who's actually doing the tours with people?
Michelle
Michelle.
is doing a lot of the tours. in this
Okay,
schedule. But you may be able to send out
just, hey, I had a great visit with so-and-so and they,
questionnaires.
yeah, they didn't select because of these things.
I have some to that. When you came in today, did you notice the, I don't want to call them posters, but you did notice the notifications are on the walls?
I did, and I liked them.
So do I. I mean, this Michelle, who started working here, and I want to be careful because sometimes I overspeak, but she's done some unbelievable things to bring prominence and to the auditorium. She one of the best hires that I've seen in any business or company that I've been involved with for 50 some odd years. She's done more in 5 months than that was done in the previous 6.5 that I've been here. But that's a fact. Is it not a fact?
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
is a fact.
yeah, and
I've noticed too, what she's done around here.
oh yeah, it's unbelievable.
It's a lot nicer.
And I think a lot of things are happening here. I mean, we're making some wonderful improvements over in the BOR. We've done so in the auditorium. We're getting the posters up. We're having a little advertising, like I'm meeting with Gary Haas to put a little tiny clip in the paper today about the Norris and Johnson thing. I don't know if we get a lot of, and I speak for me, but for the very few tours that I give, our closing percentage is pretty doggone high. And look what's happened just in the last, we got the Vermont State Wrestling Championship in here. I mean, over 1,000 people came in those 2 days. And I think very clearly the volleyball championship could come here. I'm even chasing down some of the music directors in the state. Because way back when Moby Dick was a minnow, they used to have a music festival every year down at the auditorium in Burlington. And maybe that might happen here, who knows? The menu is getting better and better each and every year, and we're getting a lot, I think we're getting a lot of good things happening.
So, and when I say what I just did, it's not to suggest that I'm
Yes,
looking at this as a negative operation at all. I am not. But what I am saying is that I need to know more. I'm a reactive person when it comes to management. I have evaluations that I hand out at classes and all sorts of things because I want to know what isn't working. And I really feel like we need to know, why aren't we getting more expos? Because that is such a great, every expo we have, we've got thousands of people walking in thinking about, how could I use this space? And so the networking angle is really important to this institution.
Yeah, I agree.
So I never want to imply that I'm looking at this as, oh darn, we're doing.
I don't think anyone.
No, I'm not saying
I
that.
think the, hearing the negative is often much more valuable than hearing the positive.
that's-
Everyone says, that's great, that's great, that's great, but when you hear something that's negative, then you can correct it, so I think that's a great idea to have. We talked to Michelle about that, since she sounds like doing most of the tours and get her feedback on something that doesn't happen, so.
And you know, since COVID, I think the only thing we've lost up here was the job fair. That's the only thing that didn't come back.
Yeah.
And they changed it, now they're doing more of a virtual job fair, I think, yeah.
Yeah, and the farm show,
Farm show.
and I mean,
Farm show,
you can't compete, you can compete with, Essex Junction. Yes, no way.
Well, Jim, they haven't had a farm show since COVID, so
There's one that I still,
They're rebuilding now.
that's what they keep saying
Yeah.
every year, we're rebuilding, rethinking.
there's one event that I'm somehow, hell or high water, I'm gonna get into this building and it's.
Is that your tattoo convention?
Car show?
What? Tattoo convention.
What about the car show you had? Remember?
We try not to talk about that one.
No.
Well, I had
You tried something.
Listen, I had a car, oh, God, yeah, I was, I mean, I went to all the car dealers here in, Barre and Montpelier and asked them, used car dealers, used car. And we had a car show over at, the BUR. And this guy right here brought up his wife and his son. He was one of 9 people that came the whole weekend. This man, it was unbelievably embarrassing, but, and do you remember the yard sale that we had here with the sold those all out?
That was great.
That was a good one. Maybe I'll try to do that again in the spring. But this tattoo convention, whenever I see people with tattoos, I say, would you? 99 out of, I've asked it probably 40, 50 people. I've not had a no yet. And I started doing something with it with a tattoo artist here in Barre Montpelier, but my God, they're scarier or more scarce than Henstead. They're never in their office, but because you can charge $1,000 for one of those guys, one of those persons to come in for Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Some serious. For payment. So if you get 10, that's $10,000.
Yeah.
Think of the match we could buy for $10,000.
Yeah, it'll be a fun project, I think so. Okay, I think you're right, Jim, there's a lot of good things happening here, and the events that are happening up here are just fantastic, that wrestling.
One of the things, you know, the only thing that I remember didn't want to use the auditorium was a bridal show because the backboards, we couldn't get the backboards out.
Right.
Because they said, well, it still looks like a gym.
Right, we've talked
They
about
did it
that,
once,
the
but they
elevated
didn't
boards.
But other than that, I mean, that's a great building. There's the things that we have here, it's a great building.
Very much so. The motorsports show
Mhm.
that didn't come back since I got here, that was mostly timing. And some issues they had the year before I started. It
Yeah.
was the,
Is there anything, people around this table, that you think we could pull off in the auditorium with a couple of phone calls and handshakes?
I think the BPA and how we treat, coming up to basketball, which is, we're coming into that season now. And what happened with wrestling, what always happens with basketball, the volleyball, that's a possibility down the road. The BPA, as far as I'm concerned, is our biggest customer, isn't it?
Financially.
Yeah, I mean, they're the ones that you wanna really take good care of it, so that you can get the wrestling back, so you can get the volleyball, so you can get the band, the music, stuff and like that, cause that's where you bring in the people. That's where they love coming here, and so.
On that thread, not to interrupt, but on that thread, the wrestling, we talked to the lady from the VP, I can't remember her name. She mentioned that the
Lauren.
wrestling
Lauren.
might be interested in coming back here.
Oh, they are.
Pretty much, you had this, they're coming back
Yeah,
again
Remember
this
when
year.
she was on?
They're going, when she came here,
Right,
they are committed to CVU this year.
okay, that's
Okay.
what I was getting at.
But she is going back because of all the positive feedback she got from everybody all over the state. she wants to bring it back here and keep it here. That's-
Right, she mentioned when she was here though, that that was not a short thing for next year.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
My understanding was they were looking at possibly being back in the spring.
I think you're right.
Stevie was done, that's a done deal for this year, that
Okay.
was a committee
You
thing,
sure?
and, yeah. That's what she told me,
Um,
that's what that's what Mickey also told me the same thing too, so,
okay, so maybe not this year, but in the
Right.
future.
yeah.
And, this just came to me here, with the things we're, and again, I'm in the auditorium now, but certainly your point with BOR, trying to give as much credit to that building as well, and we will. With the winter solstice, which we put together here 2, 3 years ago. An offshoot of that was, as some of you will remember, last year, the women's and men's team from Mount Mansfield, which is the D1 school over in Chittenden County, came in and played us at Junction. Mount Mansfield is returning, but this year, BFA of St. Albans, another D1 school, is going to come in, and play that piece. Now, just as you throw out some seeds, another one that is sprouting is that I got a phone call just in the last week and a half. Of all places, Richford High School, which has heard about the basketball, which is being done in here. And he too is looking, to see if he can get a school, to come here, and he's looking at Blue Mountain, which is right down the road here in Weld River, so that's a possibility that might happen. And I'm working like the Dickens, I finally got it, I had his wrong extension, the athletic director at Rice. At least I'm gonna try to contact him, because there was, when the UVM women were here, the head coach at Rice, Paul Pico, his brother was here, and he said, I'm going home immediately. The brother said, I'm going home immediately, and call Paul and tell him he's gotta bring his team up here next year. So, it's like throw a pebble in the water and it just kind of brings more opportunities. So, the auditorium and the BOR speak for themselves, everything. The marquee board helps, the custodial staff helps, posters, it's good to be here.
Another thing we talked to Lauren about, a few years back, we had part of the cheerleading, we had a regional event here, for cheerleading championships. With all the money we can from the VPA.
Now we gotta start considering timing,
Yes,
Yeah.
because those playoffs all happen at the same time.
Yeah, the month of March, you could be here all day, all month long.
Right, but the playoffs all happen at the same,
Well, the playoffs,
so all the championship games are relatively.
oh, yeah,
within-
right. Playoffs are on the home seed, but the semis and the finals could be right here.
it would be a coordination issue,
It'll be
we would have to work through that, but I agree. Is anyone, I don't know if you seem to know the VPA and Lauren well, are you in contact, or are you in contact with them on a regular basis, or?
Well, Paula and I will see as soon as basketball starts up here, of course, that's 3 months from now, 3 months from now, but then we see her all the time, I mean, she's up here a lot.
So there's contact being made and
Yeah.
discussions, okay,
Yeah.
great,
Yeah.
wonderful. Okay, that's.
She's gonna be very happy about the stairs outside the auditorium, how they've been fit.
Oh, yeah.
But that's a nice touch right there too.
Yeah. Excellent, okay, Jim, thank you, anything else for Jim? Okay, let's move on, Tom, your report?
Okay, so we're in the process of replacing 4 rooftop units down at Public Safety. That's from the capital improvement plan. We had 3 money set aside for 3 of them. For 48.
Yeah,
We're getting
45.
4 of them for 45. So we're working on that. City Hall, we have an issue with the fire alarm system. There's been a couple RFPs put out over the years for replacements. Those numbers are in the 400+ thousand. And now I'm in the process of looking just to replace the panel itself. Then we could look at replacing the devices and the wiring.
What's the violation? It just doesn't work.
It's been in
It's
violation.
been in violation for a number
Right,
of
but
years.
it's just, it doesn't work, or it doesn't call those people, or,
I went out at least 2 times to get bids, and like Tom said, the last ones that came in were over 400,000. There was only one bidder. at the
Only
time.
one bidder. And so, and they put some money in there because we didn't have a design for them
right,
to go off of, so they're gonna. And the one I put out is I wanna replace what we have to get us up to code.
Yeah.
You know, if we gotta replace the devices, we gotta replace the panel. Because the state fire marshal is starting to look. He's like, you guys have to do something.
Yep.
Um,
understood,
yeah, we're getting close to having these 2 buildings completely up to code. They're just,
Yep.
we're just actually waiting on, I believe, Simplex to come in and program the panels.
Yep. Yep.
And,
okay, that's a
Yeah.
big ticket.
yeah, so we're working on that. The Zamboni contract has been signed and sent out and deposit. This in the mail or been electronically sent. That's 450 days from the time you receive the deposit to when we get the new Zamboni.
That's insane.
Next year.
Maybe.
Call on demand.
Oh,
Gosh.
Send them.
yeah.
Okay. Where do they come from? Where's the Zamboni?
Zamboni is based at, Zamboni USA is based out of California.
Of course, 450 days. That's-
But
No wonder it takes that.
That's about electrical Zamboni this year, and that was a year and a half.
So I was gonna ask you a question, is this one electric or propane?
This is. Electric is
Way more
another
money.
50 grand on top of this.
Yeah. Wow, that's an insanely long lead time, I can't believe it.
Well, it's not like you going, pick one off your car.
I know, but there's a lot of rigs, and I'm amazed that it's so long to get it to going.
Well, there's what, 2, there's Zamboni, there's Olympia and Zamboni,
That's about it.
that's about it.
Yep, I get it.
And both of them.
Are we good for this year, you think?
Yes, I had. The Zamboni mechanics actually come up and go through the machine this year.
Yeah.
And we had our staff right there with them, and they learned a lot.
Yeah.
They've all said they got a lot out of that. That was money well spent.
Yep, excellent.
They know that, so they all learned the adjustments and so we can make it. If you go look at the ice looks amazing now.
Yep. You don't have a Zamboni, you're pretty much shuts down your rink.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
important piece of equipment.
Yeah, and the rink, we had a leak in the brine in the floor. Again, there's the plastic tubing that runs through the floor. It, right at the end of where we connected the new header to it, split. We were able to patch that in place. But we should really start thinking about a new floor. Yeah, that piping is getting old, like you said, it's close to 60 years old.
Right, and that's not just the end connections, that's throughout the whole floor.
As you could possibly chip it back to find good material.
Right.
But that could be the whole floor. No, this is just my guesstimation. That number is gonna be high 6 figures, possibly 7 figures.
Wow. That's disappointing.
How much cost doing Orange? Years ago?
Norwich was right around $1 million.
Tear out the old
That's where
floor.
I pulled them.
Yeah.
Pulled it out.
I figured you did, but.
Maybe it's a little different because of what we have here.
Alright,
but
Well, the city could also do some of that demo work.
Probably.
You can't skim over the top of it, that,
we could possibly put a floor on top of the one that's there,
save the demo cost.
save the demo.
Raise
cost.
the boards.
Everything would, the boards would come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the.
That's a big
options
ticket
also.
item for the BOR, and the roof is a big ticket item for the BOR.
The roof is, I think I got a quote for 500.
Yeah.
For the main roof.
Than we thought it was, right?
That's a lot of dash.
Closer to $1 million.
Yeah. But we do, I'm thinking it will be probably closer to 6. Because there's some decking that needs to be replaced.
They'll find quite a bit of that.
Yeah.
We only replaced that one real bad section. And the guy said at the time, it's here, it's probably everywhere.
Yeah, they did find another section this fall, when they started cleaning around it.
You put a floor over the floor when it, I mean, the piping is only in the
It's in the
ice area.
right,
So you just, if you took out, you would just take out the cement in the ice area. But if you put a floor over the floor, would you do the whole building or just the ice area?
just the ice area. So you'd raise up your
Step
boards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get in or out or whatever.
Yeah.
How is ice rentals? I don't know if you guys covered that or
It's full.
it's full.
Yeah.
Full, describe full.
It's booked 3:30 to 10, Monday through Friday, and all day Saturday and all day Sunday. Sunday it goes 8 to 9.
What's our hourly rate now?
215, I believe,
Oh, we went up.
maybe 220. I have to double check,
But
but it's right around there.
Huh?
Just a,
Per hour, how much we
the
get?
usage is there.
You think?
Yes.
Who's renting all of this ice?
Mostly black bear hockey.
Black Bears, Spalding. And the figure skaters are in there, and I think we've got 1 or 2 men's leagues that are looking for. And we have a Saturday morning men's league. And we've got,
So Black Bear hockey, there's no more.
Well, it's BYSA, but they merged with the surrounding areas.
yeah,
Okay.
Black Bears picked up Northfield, Berry, Waterbury, Montpelier,
Waterbury too? Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
They're up at the,
Civic Center.
Wait a minute, I'm missing something. Is this just a men's thing or is this a?
That's just kidding.
Black Bears are
Black
all,
Bears
it's
is youth.
Okay.
youth, it's
Thank you.
everything,
All right,
right,
okay.
I think it was 16 or 18.
Nice, all right, very nice.
On top of that, there's also the like open skate and
Yeah.
things that are on the schedule that the city reserves
You skate,
poorly.
but when you come up, are there good numbers in the
No,
BOR?
I haven't. They were saying stick and puck has been lightly attended, but I haven't seen the. open
We've
skate.
I
had,
wouldn't even know what's happening. I have no idea. I wouldn't know they open up at noon, so I don't know how we
First you
find it.
graduated, you stopped coming over.
Yeah, I know.
yeah, Michelle's got it up on the sign,
Huh,
got it on the door.
hey, Matt, you can put that on that Instagram page.
Yeah, I mean, she has so much going on. I'm like, I gotta space all this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
I
Michelle,
got like two
this
or three
place, this
things
building
coming out.
is really busy. too.
Yeah.
I'll have 50 kids plus Sunday night in here.
Wow.
Oh,
Big group,
playing ball.
playing ball.
You know, I came up for one public skate last year, and I bet there was 60, 70 people out there.
Those are popular.
Saturday and Sunday ones are busy.
Really busy.
Yeah,
That's good.
the activity is fantastic. All the stuff that's happening up here. It's
I have-
really good.
One kind of follow up just on the roof and the floor with the BOR. Have you had any discussions with other city staff like Nicholas or anyone else about those and what the?
I've thrown out the option of we build a new building over there, we knock that one down, and turn it into a parking lot.
We should have did that when we did that originally back in, years ago.
It fell down once already for.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just wondering, like, is this an inevitable thing that's gonna happen? Or is this like, a discussion and something we're gonna have to lobby for?
It's something that is going to happen eventually.
Yeah.
Something, you're talking about the roof or a new building?
The roof and the floor.
If you're gonna do a roof and a floor, you might as well do a new building. That's.
Yeah.
I tell you, buildings ain't cheap.
Yeah, but I don't know, steel building, maybe.
There's concerns about that, you know, it's will vary, you know. I think the ice rink is great for Barry. I'm sure that discussion will come up at some point.
But you do have some
Do
pushback.
you put a new one? Do you
People
rebuild this
against
one? Or do you turn it all into a parking lot? See, there'll be some people on city council who do not feel that it's worth having an ice rink in Barry.
Berlin tried to pass in
Yes.
their budget to put in a new closed area like the BOR.
Yeah.
Got shot right down.
Right, well, that was gonna be like the original BOR, open sides and, you know,
Right,
so.
right. So that is a discussion that is gonna happen. The rule will have to lobby for it and push it.
Lots of money.
It's a lot of money.
Just like,
And
this, you know, that's.
the timing on that is what, like, I mean, you're just gonna keep going with this floor until it. Till it's.
Well, that's what I'm bringing it now. We probably need to start thinking seriously about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for grants or bonds or something, but like Jim said, the roof is in the capital improvement plan. We need to set aside for that. Keep working on that. But if we're gonna be looking at a new floor, a new roof, it's basically almost the whole building.
Deal with it all at once with everything.
Yeah, I'm thinking about.
And, you know, it's got so many additions onto it, because originally it's the dome, and then they've closed it in, and then they added the locker rooms and the stuff on the front side and the back. It's not a really cohesive building, and it all moves in different ways, because it's not one building. Yeah.
It's a Quonset hut with additions, basically, is what it is.
Yes,
In terms of getting it done though, you have to decide what do you wanna do, replace or.
Yeah,
it will be a big discussion.
that's the discussion we probably start rolling down the road.
I'd say your
It's
chances,
gonna be a couple years.
your chances of replacing it are slim and none.
The only way you can do it is a regional thing
Yeah.
with Barry Berlin up there,
Yeah.
something like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only way you could float something that big.
It's obviously a lot of money.
Yeah.
Whereas if you do a roof 1 year and you do the floor a few years later or something, or vice versa. And I don't know if your floor is gonna last that long. I mean.
Again, it's gonna be, hopefully it's settled down.
Yeah.
And if you don't mess with it, it'll stay, but we know it's fragile.
Yeah, it's still an ammonia system, right?
There's ammonia in the compressors. It's got glycol.
Oh,
We did away with the calcium chloride and we now have glycol. A little better.
Anything else? Well, five, I guess.
We already discussed the occupancy.
Yeah, so, okay, well, that was a lot of information.
Yeah, on the odd, is there any chance of getting the lights replaced sooner rather than later? You can't buy those bulbs, right?
What are they?
We-
Intelligent?
They're metal halide, we've been able to get them. Jimmy's been able to get them. But. Yeah,
That's part of the project.
It's big
that's.
wire too,
we'd have to
isn't it?
get-
A big wire to, like,
Well,
Maybe 30
I know
wire.
Joel's changed out a couple to
There's-
smaller LEDs.
There's two in there that they changed out that are just incredibly bright,
Yes,
Big difference.
yes.
huge difference.
But I just go in the BOR and see the difference in.
I haven't been there, yeah.
You should.
Yeah, I
That's set at the mid
Yeah.
level. We can still go brighter
right,
on the ones over the ice if we wanted to.
right. I would think until the whole project goes down, if a light goes down, we replace it with the LED and individual case. And then when we do the lights, part of this project is to redo all the lights.
Yes,
Which would
it's
be
in there.
fantastic. So, maybe see if you can get backup bulbs. For a couple of them.
efficiency in the line, not the other lights.
Efficiency remote doesn't do much anymore with LEDs. Because everyone has gone to LEDs. It's not a big push to get that technology out there anymore, right? Everyone knows that's the way to go.
Yep. So, okay, anyone got anything else? Sure.